There's a new logo, baby. Right there, you see the new sponsor, PF Chang's La Cantera. Joe, how you doing today, my man?
I'm doing good, man. Doing really good.
You ever have one of those days where it's hard to wake up?
Yeah, that's been happening to me more often than not. Just been running ragged.
I was
Think you know what I'm gonna have to do, Mike? Since we're getting older, I think I'm
Yeah,
gonna have to make an appointment, man. Go check my T levels, testosterone
dude,
levels, brother.
that's a big deal, man. That really is a big deal.
I'm gonna have to
Uh,
go.
I take supplements and whatnot.
It's
They
time to
work,
take
dude.
vitamins too, Mike. We're getting older.
They, oh, I know. Get Centrum Silver, almost eligible for Centrum Silver. Jesus.
Almost eligible.
I remember somebody got me one, like a bottle one time, and I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, I'm 44. Why am I getting age 50 and older?
Oh my God.
No, I did continuing education last night, and it took forever. I had to knock out this. I'm trying to sell this investment product, and long story short, they required me to do this CE that took like hours, took like 8 hours to finish.
Yeah.
And by the time I was done with it last night, I was just exhausted. It was just too much in my head.
That's a lot.
Wonder what
All
Jeff
right.
Garcia from Locked On Spurs is going to roast me about today.
Yo, Jonathan Perez, what's up? And Jonathan Perez, PF Chains, good morning. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, Tex-Mex Frank. I'm wearing your hat, brother. Love
Yeah,
the Mexican hat.
Same we're getting viejito-itis or viejo-itis.
What's up, Vatos? What's up? What's up, Matt Lerma?
Welcome to another episode of the Area 210 podcast with Mike Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast to you live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your hosts as it helps the show grow.
What's up, San Antonio? What's going on, South Texas? This is the Area 210 podcast powered by PF Chang's La Cantera. My name is Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia. We're going to go for about an hour and a half talking Spurs, sports, pop culture, nostalgic things. We're going to hit all sorts of things today. Joe, how you doing today, my man?
I'm doing good, but some of these comments have me dying. Look at Sith. He's already in the chat. I take horny goat weed and call it a day.
We were talking about supplements to get things going, right?
Oh,
Because
man.
there's some people who need a pick-me-up, right? You know, when it
Yep.
comes to a variety of different things, man. I have friends who have done testosterone. They've gone to the low T center and all that stuff. But as someone mentioned on the chat earlier, once you start, you can't go back, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those things where your body feeds off of it and it needs it. Others are like, yeah, just go work out, which is true. Working out is part of it. Get some sun. That is part of it. So it's
Get some
interesting.
sun.
At some point, we all start to lose a little bit of the pep in our step when it comes to things, man.
Yeah.
And I know right now we're going to get the comments of Blue Chew. That's going to be the comments that are coming in because I know our listeners, I know our subscribers. But we are more than 2,400 subscribers strong. No Blue Chew in my system. But, you know, I don't mind certain things out there. Hims is a good product. I would love for Hims to sponsor us. They do a fantastic job
Blue
doing all
Chew. What's
sorts
wrong
of
with
things.
Blue Chew sponsoring us, Mike? That'd be funny. That's the running joke.
It's the great name, dude. And it's the fact that you have to chew that damn thing for it to work. That's kind of funny.
And then you could be like, Chica likes it too. You know, like those
like the Big Hurt, Frank Thomas. You know, it's funny because it's been like Area 210 podcast sponsored by the pills you get at the gas station. You know,
boner pills.
Jeez.
Dude, that thing is no good, man. You take that stuff.
I've never taken that, dude.
That stuff is horrible, man.
It's just caffeine, right? The caffeine.
No,
pills
dude, it's all sorts of nasty stuff that hasn't been like FDA approved. So if you take it and you get that erection, brother, you might have to go to the ER. And you know what they do to go ahead and pull that, like to fix that issue? They have to slice it in half, bro. Yeah. Oh man, like no,
brutal,
bro.
man.
No,
Brutal.
I'm good.
That's hysterical. No, you know, we all need to pick me up. I'm glad that over the past couple of weeks ago or so, the CBD shops are going to stay in business. The Delta 8, Delta 9, the hemp and all that stuff. All about it, dude. All about it. We all need stuff to calm us down. And it's funny, man, because it's you look at all the medicine that's out there, right?
Yeah.
The medicine to pick us up, the medicine to calm us down. Do you know why I'm so exhausted? I just realized it, Joe. I went basically 36 hours without caffeine because we ran out of diet soda.
Jeez.
We are addicted to certain things. I was addicted to caffeine. We all are addicted to caffeine, whether it be iced tea like Luka Doncic or whether it be a coffee. Some people can't get through the day without coffee, right?
Oh yeah.
But my goodness, I needed to get my Coke Zero in today, man. Get me going. I can't go without it. But then at the end of the night, you want to like chill out a little bit, man. Maybe have a little bit of a gummy. Maybe have a little bit of hemp. Maybe have a little bit of something, you know?
Maybe we try you
Nothing
on
wrong with
that
that.
that horny goat wheat, that supplemental
I don't even
stuff.
know what that is.
It's the, let's say, the natural version of like Viagra or what is it, that Cialis or
Cialis.
whatever, and or Tafadil or whatever they call that stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Blue Chew, but like the natural element that you can get off like a food and drug store, you know, like anywhere around here, like the supplemental stores or like GNC or something like that sell all that stuff.
Yeah.
You can get that there. You know what somebody had put in here? I thought it was funny. They said if we get Blue Chew as a sponsor, it says the Rock Hard Chat sponsored by Blue Chew.
You know what's so funny? I was talking to somebody who worked at a pharmacy one time, and I haven't had this in about 3 months, and I probably should go get it again. There's something called Testro, which is basically the Walmart version of testosterone. It's natural testosterone, like the free testosterone they have in your body. It's called Testro. It's a $20 bottle. They claim that it works more. It's more effective than the Nugenics or any of the other stuff. That it's the exact same thing, if not better, and it's like a fifth of the cost.
I don't know about that, dude. I mean, there's something to be said about getting something that's prescribed by the doctor. You know what I mean?
Dude.
And getting it injected.
Doctors are
in your veins, Mike.
Doctors are in the game for a different reason, man. I see we have super chats coming in from the Drew Show. We're going to address them in a moment.
Yeah.
So we'll address Drew's super chats because I do want to go in the direction that he's talking about. Lots to get into today. The main topic of today is going to be about De'Aaron Fox. There's a great snippet from John Hollinger of The Athletic that was posted by Jeff Garcia of Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5. John Hollinger asked the question, what should the Spurs do about De'Aaron Fox? Because De'Aaron Fox, this August, in 4 weeks, is eligible for an extension. And when he was brought over to the Spurs and the Spurs traded for him, and I know the Spurs only sent over a bag of chips for him, right? We fleeced the Kings for him. The idea was that De'Aaron Fox is the point guard of the future for the Spurs. He's a former All-Star, fringe All-Star most years. The guy's Mr. Clutch. We want him on this team. But when the Spurs won the lottery and were able to pick at number 2 to get Dylan Harper, that changed things. We've been talking about the odd man out possibly being Devin Vassell. We've been talking about the odd man out being possibly Jeremy Sohan. Is the odd man out long-term, maybe not short-term, but long-term, is the odd man out really De'Aaron Fox when it comes to it all? So we're going to have a conversation about that. Spurs made an announcement yesterday, kind of an announcement. It's kind of a joint announcement made with the other Texas NBA teams, the Houston Rockets, the Dallas Mavericks, the NBA, and the NBA Players Association, announcing that they're going to donate more than $2.5 million towards the flood victims because more than 100 people died over the weekend, over the 4th of July holiday weekend. Was that enough? Were the Spurs vocal enough when it comes to it? People came after me yesterday because
I saw that.
Because and here's the thing, Joe. I was hands off. I said, you know what? I'm not mad yet. You've seen me fired up. You've seen me fired up before, Joe.
Seen you intimidating?
I was saying,
you were
you know
intimidating?
What? I wasn't fired up. I wasn't intimidating. I wasn't demanding anything right now. But what I was doing was saying, look, they had to do something, and they had to do something within the next 24 hours. They did, because that's what's expected of them as being a pillar of the community. My question, Joe, is did they do enough? And I'm not talking about just money-wise, because I would hope that the Spurs are going to do a little bit more. Okay,
we don't know what they're going to do yet. They're donating money. We don't know if they're going to send some of the players or the staff's going to go out there and kind of help. You know, we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, they can donate time, you know, just like all of us, you know, we want to help too. We can go donate our time and just see what's the need out there. You know, what do they need help with?
Right. There's so much they can do. And yesterday was a step in the right direction, although I thought it could have been more forthcoming.
What you
I
want
think
him to do, Mike? You want him to donate 10 mil? I mean,
no, not necessarily that. I believe out of and when they announced that $2.5 million, it says more than 2.5 million, so maybe it's 2.6, maybe it's 2.7. It was done as a collective: Spurs, Mavericks, Rockets, NBA Players Association.
yeah.
There's no breakdown as to who donated what. Was it equal? Was it 500,000 each?
Who
Was it?
knows?
Did the Rockets donate more than the Spurs? Did the Mavericks donate more than the Spurs? Um, I would like the Spurs to have said, "Hey, look, this is our community. We're gonna do more than any other franchise out there," because the first to donate was the Houston Texans. The second to donate was the Dallas Cowboys, and they did so like within hours.
Yeah. And the NFL jumped in on it as well, real quick.
NFL jumped in on it. J.J. Watt, former Houston Texan, jumped in on it. We've seen $3.5 million donated by George Strait. So I'm not saying that the Spurs have to go out and donate tens of millions of dollars. What I am saying is that I would hope that they take the mantle and they basically say, look, follow our lead. We're going to do certain things around the community so that we can do maybe food drives, maybe we can do money drives, we could do drives towards certain things, and the Spurs have time to do so. I think this is a step in the right direction, what they did yesterday, but I think they now need to take that leadership position and
Yeah.
basically go out and have drives, host things over at the Rocket La Cantera. Maybe throughout the upcoming season, do things at the games where you can donate. One of the things that you can do is at HEB, at the checkout counters now, they have, do you want to donate to the flood victims or the Kerrville area, right? They have those little stickers where you could pull out a $1, $3, or $5 donation and add it to your grocery bill. So if
Yeah.
HEB is already taking that, and HEB is in the forefront of all that, we've seen all the trucks head on out there and take supplies and whatnot. HEB is an amazing company, and they do a fantastic job. I am wanting the Spurs to not send their players out to Kerrville. I don't want them sending people to Ingram or to Camp Mystic or Lano or anything like that. What I want the Spurs to do is hold a food drive, hold a fundraiser, hold a something at La Cantera.
What's wrong
Rocket
with them
Lock.
donating time to like the Red Cross or something and help just,
Oh,
stock, unload trucks or hand out waters or something,
exactly. Shine the
Yeah.
spotlight on the American Red Cross, shine the spotlight on Salvation Army, on all of those efforts being done down there. I know that a lot of authorities out there are saying that so many people have been going out there wanting to help, but they might actually be getting in the way
Yeah, I mean, you can
of it
volunteer
all.
your time in other places. Like they already have like an organization of the way they want things run. Maybe they just need help, like loading stuff up, in the back or unloading trucks or handing out things or just helping the flow of traffic or, anything. I mean, throwing away trash, helping in other areas. You can do a
Right.
lot of things. You just got to go out there and just say, hey, I want to volunteer. What can I do? And they'll go ahead and put you to work. And you can be there all day if you want, a couple hours, it's up to you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, HEB is doing an amazing job because they're soliciting donations from people who come by. They are sending food out there. Their employees and volunteer time and all that stuff is doing an amazing job. I'm not trying to knock the Spurs for what the donation they made, right? No. I mean, it's part of a $2.5 million plus collective with the Mavericks, the Rockets, the NBA, and the NBA Players Association. What I'm saying is that I would like for them to do more. I would
Yeah.
like for them to do what HEB is doing in getting people organized and getting fans organized, because there are two things that galvanize the city of San Antonio. One is HEB, one is the Spurs. And I'm glad the Spurs are cutting a check. See if you can get other people to cut a check. I wrote a check yesterday,
Yeah.
right? The place that I donated to, I posted on Twitter yesterday. Let me see if I can get the name out of it as well. And I got the name because I wanted to know who to donate to. So I went to I read probably 7 or 8 different articles, and I didn't want it to be to like some organization that's also going to do it for Hurricane Chantal on the East Coast, right? I wanted to be something specifically towards our neck of the woods, right? And I found an article and an interview that was done on TV with one of the authorities there in Kerr County, and he was advising people to donate to the Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country. Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country, and it is at communityfoundation.net. And on the top, they do lots of things like scholarships and things like that. But on the top, they have a big banner in green that says, click here if you want to make a donation to the Kerr County Flood Relief Fund. That's who I donated to yesterday. And it's one of those things where that's what I can do. And if they wanted manpower and if they were going to have an event out there, I would love to do it. I've done it before. Did that for Hurricane Harvey.
Yeah.
But donate more. Donate what you can. That's where I donated. I know that the Salvation Army of Kerrville is also taking donations as well. But it's beyond just Kerrville. You have areas like Lake Travis, areas like Llano that got devastated, Burnett County, things like that. So wherever your heart is sending you, do it. I'm glad the Spurs donated money. I'm glad the Spurs cut a check. That's fantastic. Now drum up support for more checks.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm
not saying I don't want the Spurs to necessarily cut a bigger check. What I'm saying is that they can use their platform to solicit more donations for that area. That's all I'm saying.
We have an incoming super chat by the Drew Show that's kind of relevant to what we're talking about.
Money talks.
Here comes the money.
So this is what the Drew Show is saying. He goes, from the Drew Show, he says, thank you, Drew, by the way, we appreciate it. He says, and I quote, if the Spurs don't donate a substantial amount, he goes, today I wasn't threatening. It's on tape. He goes, no, Joe, go get the tape.
I said 24 hours I would get pissed off, but I hadn't hit pissed off status yet. Like I said, it's a $2.5 million collective. The Spurs could have donated $1 million. The Spurs could have donated $250,000. It's almost like we don't know, right? We just do know that they're part of a collective that overall is doing $2.5 million.
But they do help, and they do help because I remember this specifically when my good friend passed away here, Michael De Leon, founder of Project Spurs. The family had started a GoFundMe, and Michael had been prevalent in the community for quite some time, helping out up and coming journalists, podcasters, live streamers, things like that. Anybody who's wanting to get into the industry. And because he had done this for so many years, when the Spurs got wind of him passing on, they donated a substantial amount, in the grand scheme of things, to the family and the GoFundMe account. I think they donated something like 20 grand right off the bat once they found out that Mike had passed away. And I always remember that, they didn't have to. I mean, he was probably a name that they were familiar with and they knew what he was doing as far as his coverage and everything of the team, but they didn't have to do that. They did that because they wanted to help out, so I was very appreciative of what they did, and I still appreciate them making the effort along with other teams to go ahead and help the community. At the end of the day, I just think it's kind of frivolous and silly to call out the team because we don't know how much they donated. What does it matter? At the end of the day, they're donating money to help the community, and that's what it's really about,
They are an example of the city. They're the leaders of this city in many, many ways. What I'm saying is that they cut a check, which is great, and I want them to, and I'm sure it's an appropriate amount. But you look at other companies within the city, like HEB. HEB is taking a leadership position when it comes to all this, and they are soliciting donations and things like that. I would, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Spurs have a banner on Spurs.com. Maybe there's something there that they're going to do during the games, and I hope that that's what it is.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where I'm glad that the donations are coming in. And I donated yesterday as well, and people are saying that you donated for clicks and likes. What is that all about? I could have said that I donated, and you wouldn't know either way if I did or didn't, but I did. Okay, so it's just one of those things, and George Strait doing a fantastic job with it all. But
we do got an incoming super chat from the Drew Show here. Mm-hmm. Drew is voicing his opinion.
Money talks.
Here comes the money.
So the Drew Show says, he goes, oh my God, it's been reported that Peter Holt donated $1 million. He says, read it like Dr. Evil. Lord Jesus, help this poor soul. Mike Jimenez.
I'm looking for that, and I don't see that.
$1 million is what he's saying. It's like Dr. Evil.
And nowhere do I see that on there that happening. I hope he does.
Yeah.
I hope he does. But like I said, people are asking the questions about donations because of expenses. There are some very good companies out there. Salvation Army, for example, I believe is one of the ones that does a very good job of having limited expenses when it comes to it all. People are saying, well, if I donate $100, maybe only like 20 gets to the actual people. But there's some certain companies out there that have lower fees expenses than others. I know the Salvation Army does a fantastic job. I know Mike Taylor from In the Building with Rudy J as well. They do a lot of charitable work for the Salvation Army because a lot of
Yeah.
it goes to the people. There
You know,
are
that brings up
expenses
a
because it's not it's not free. You know what I'm
that
saying?
you're bringing up a good idea. You got the wheels are spinning already. Since we have our brand new sponsor here, PF Chang's, which is
Yes.
powering the chat here. And thank you to, PF Chang's at the La Cantera location out there by 1604. Now that we're talking about this and you're like kind of like put your money where your mouth is kind of thing, it'd be nice to maybe round up the group, right? Round up the troops and have like some type of a happy hour over there and have like talk with Sean to see if we can have some of the proceeds be donated to the cause. I think that'd be cool just to break bread and have some drinks with the gente, but have it go to a better cause.
That'd be fantastic. And I want to do something over there at PF Chang's either the third or fourth week of July.
Yeah.
I have my daughter until the 27th, I believe. So either before the 27th or immediately after the 27th, I'd like to do something over there at PF Chang's. The Spurs, one of the Spurs owners, Dell, has donated $1 million towards flood relief, according to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs. So round of
That's a
applause for
beautiful
that.
thing, man. I like that. Like Tex-Mex Frank here, I posted something, and it says Texans helping Texans. We help our own here. And that's a beautiful thing to see people going out and helping each other. I mean, that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Yeah, JHNSB says Mike did it for the tax write-off. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Isn't that a beautiful thing? And you can, for those of you who itemized deductions, this can be written off, no different than a church tithe or a church offering can be deducted. That doesn't make church tithing or church offerings bad if you deduct it. I mean, that's just part of it. If you put money towards a GoFundMe, for example, Joe, you can't deduct it. But if you put it towards a what's it called, a charitable organization, something .net,
Yeah.
more than likely you can deduct it. So it's kind of interesting that happens. But I made my donation. I'll probably make a second donation. And if you want to do a drive there at PF Chang's at La Cantera, I would love to do so. I'm planning. I'll get with Sean. We'll probably do something maybe the 25th or the 28th, somewhere around there, and get things going out there, man. So I'm looking forward to that.
Let me check on the date again because I believe I'm going to have to ask off. I was looking at the timeline. I'm going to have to ask today for off on the 30th, I believe. Because correct me if I'm wrong, Sith, but I think, or Elias, when is the WWE coming to town? Was it on the 30th? Because I got to ask for that day off because I'm going to go over there and hang out with my oldest because me and him like wrestling. So if I'm off on that day anyway, we could possibly do something like a live show from La Cantera in that morning, and I also have some officially autographed photos of like Keldon Johnson and some other players, Sean Elliott, and some others that we can go ahead and maybe donate so we can go ahead and have, like Tex-Mex Frank was saying, a silent auction.
It's Friday, July 18th.
Okay.
So maybe we could do something then as well.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. We'll do it offline. But again, thank you to the Mavericks, the Rockets, the NBA Players Association, and joining the Spurs. More than $2.5 million donated. One of the owners of the Spurs, Dell, out of Austin, donated $1 million towards the cause. Fantastic. Thank you to HEB for not only doing what they're doing with the food and the manpower, but also for allowing people to donate at the checkout counters. $1, $3, $5 donations allowed in there. It all adds up, man. It all adds up. And is it tax deductible? Well, if you deduct your taxes, if you have itemized deductions, you can.
Geez,
So,
it's on the 18th. It might be too late for me to ask for the day off, but I'll see what I can do, man. Jeez, I might have to call in, have egg on my face.
Very nice. So we're going to get to some Spurs talk. I know we have some super chats from Drew that we need to get to in a moment. But we want to get into the De'Aaron Fox situation. There's a tweet out there from Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's Five about De'Aaron Fox, and it quotes John Hollinger, who's one of the senior editors of The Athletic, and it posed the question: what are the Spurs going to do about De'Aaron Fox? De'Aaron Fox, when he was first obtained by the Spurs near the trade deadline, Spurs fleeced the Kings. We got De'Aaron Fox, a guy who's a bucket getter.
Yeah.
He may not shoot the three very well, but he's a bucket getter. He's clutch. He's a good passer. He one time led the league in steals. Point guard of the future, right? To run with Wemby, right? So we got Wemby a star. But then the Spurs won the lottery, got the number 2 overall pick, got Dylan Harper, best player on the board. They play roughly the same position. And the question becomes, now that you have Dylan Harper on the team, along with Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper, and they all kind of play the same type of role, same type of position. They're all between 6'4" and 6'6". Is Dylan Harper going to eventually take De'Aaron Fox's spot? De'Aaron Fox eligible for an extension at the beginning of August, rather, according to John Hollinger of The Athletic, and according to this article by Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's Five, eligible for a 4-year, $223 million deal with the Spurs.
What do you think? How would that look if you extend Fox and you give him this type of $240 million contract, and then you just got Wemby looking there?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think? What do you think that's going to do? Do you think that's going to motivate him, or is it going to kind of have him sour a little bit?
In what way? How do you explain that, Joe?
Because Wemby's not his rookie contract's going to be coming to an end soon, right?
Right, but he has a second contract coming in.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, Wemby will look and you'll see, because he's under his rookie contract right now, and you go and look at Fox, right? That's just come in last season, and the Spurs go and extend him. I mean, Wemby, they're going to probably go ahead and extend him as well, But I'm just saying, sometimes the jealousy comes out a little bit. If you see somebody else getting paid and you're like, well, I'm doing the same amount of work and I want to get paid too. I think I have more of an impact on the team, and this and that. You know how egos go sometimes. I'm just saying, like, is it going to motivate him to, you know what? I'm happy for my teammate. He's getting paid. I just know I got to work harder because I know that I'm worth it as well.
Well, the Spurs are methodically going about the salary cap in a way that's going to allow them to keep Wemby. It's going to allow them to keep another second big star. The Spurs are going to have certain contracts fall off in the next couple of years. Devin Vassell's $29 million is going to fall off. Keldon Johnson's $17 million is going to fall off. So certain things are falling off. The Spurs are going to get rid of Blake Wesley and Malachi Branham at the end of this season.
What about cardio?
Sohan, right? So it's interesting what the Spurs are doing right now. So the Spurs, whenever you get a rookie deal off of a guy like Wemby,
yeah,
it's a 4-year deal, but really it's an 8-year deal because it's a 4 years for the first rookie contract. The second contract is a restricted free agency thing.
Yeah, RFA.
So any team can sign him, but guess what? The Spurs can match and they keep him another 4 years. The thing about De'Aaron Fox is that you sometimes have to overpay stars. So there's something called a small market tax. And a small market tax is because you're not in LA, you're not in San Francisco, you're not in Chicago, you're not in Miami, you're not in New York. To come to San Antonio, you got to overpay a little bit, right? And then say, oh, and also, by the way, we have no income tax in the state of Texas, right? So that's what the Spurs would be doing if they signed De'Aaron Fox to this max contract. Would it be disrespectful for the Spurs to come out and say, you know what? We know that was the intention. We know that that's what we did. But, hey, the situation has changed. We now have Dylan Harper on this team. You might not be needed as much. Is it insulting to say, hey, look, man, instead of $50 million a year, $55 million a year, we're going to offer you $40 million a year?
Yeah.
Is it disrespectful for the Spurs to say, hey, look, we're going to give you a 1-and-1, a 1 year with a team option or a player option? Is it disrespectful to say that? Because we all know that Dylan Harper is going to be a very good player.
How do you know that? You don't know. You're assuming because he hasn't even played one single game yet.
Joe, did you assume that Wemby was going to be an All-Star?
Oh, Mike.
These
are
Joe,
bad.
Joe,
This is a bad take, bro.
it's not a bad target. Do we all know that certain players are going to be good players come into the league?
But we don't know that is all I'm saying. I mean, you can assume that Wemby was going to be a good player, but we really didn't know that yet. The verdict is still out on him. I mean, he's good at times,
He was
but
literally an
not
All-Star,
consistently.
and he was an injury away from being Defensive Player of the Year. Stop.
I'm just saying.
Stop.
Look at the record, bro. That's all I'm saying, man. Like, I want him to
It's a
be
team
healthy.
sport. It's a team sport, dude. So much
I
went down
don't know.
last year.
Verdict's still out with me. I'm gonna push
Okay,
back on that
but
one.
you know certain players are going to be either A, All-Star material, or B, projects, right? There's some.
So Harper's already an All-Star. He ain't played one game.
He's better than what Castle was coming out of college, Joe.
Oh,
he was a better shooter. He was a better passer. He was a better driver. He had more tools under his belt.
You better be right on this one, Mike, because we got it on record. We got the tape.
I am, and I love Castle. Castle's my favorite player on this team. But the fact of the matter is that Dylan Harper is my second son on this team because they're both almost identical to each other, except Dylan Harper coming out of college a little bit better, Joe. That is, and here's the thing, Joe. You know, when certain players come out, like Cooper Flagg. Okay, if I was saying Cooper Flagg is gonna be a very, very good player right now, you can't come up to me and go, well, we don't know. Cooper Flagg has never played one single game in the league.
He hasn't. I mean,
we know Cooper Flagg because we see that he's 6'10".
It's the percentages
that
tell
he has,
you, right? That he's going to be good.
It projects to him being a very good player. It translates, right? It translates over. You know, based on what he's done, and you look at all the variables and go, this is a guy that is projected to be a very, very good player.
Who was pick number one? Greg Oden was pick number one. Oh, he's going to be
not
a
all
great
drafts
player.
are the same. Not all the drafts are the same, Joe.
I'm just saying.
There was an NFL draft. There was an NFL draft where John Elway and Dan Marino were in the first round together. There was a draft, but there was also drafts like last year where there was nobody good coming out at quarterback in the NFL draft. You can say Anthony Bennett. You can say Michael Olawokandi. You can say all Darko Milicic. You can say all these players over history. But not all drafts are created equal, and not all players are ranked or given a ranking score the same way.
So Dylan Harper, what would you rank him as on the team before he even steps foot on the court? Give me a number. Where does he rank as far as the best player out there on the team right now?
4th or 5th.
All right.
4th or 5th. De'Aaron Fox is currently a better player than him. Wemby is a better player than him. Maybe as high as 3rd.
Think so. Well, we have incoming super chats we got to get to. And we got to address Drew's show's incoming super chats. And I think it's going to go good for the segue because I know where you're going with it. So let's go ahead and address these super chats coming in.
Money talk.
Here comes the money.
And this is a $4.99 super chat coming in from Sam Salinas. Thank you, Sam. We appreciate all the support from you guys. There you go, Mike.
Yeah, so Sam Salinas says, I'm the one who's been saying Fox is the odd man out, and you dismissed my argument, Mike. You said that would be bad free agency business backtracking. Yeah, give me the chocolate, Joe. Give me the chocolate.
You're going to chocolate yourself?
A little self-chocolate myself on that, Joe. Let's see it, Joe. Okay, so well, it is bad business, Joe. It is. But if your backup plan is we got Dylan Harper, then it's not that bad of a decision to make, Joe. I think it's an understandable decision. If the Spurs had backtracked on De'Aaron Fox early on, if they had backtracked early on De'Aaron Fox, that would have been bad business. If they had if they had taken Chris Paul off the bench last year, that would have been bad business, right? Everyone all pissed off about Chris Paul. We need to bring Chris Paul off the bench. You don't do that to CP3, dude. You don't. Handshake agreement or not, you don't do that. Dylan Harper changes everything. And when he comes out and he starts balling out during summer camp or he starts balling out during training camp or whatever the case may be, we're going to see that we have an NBA-ready player. And you know what? It might take him a couple of months to get his legs under him. But the guy's a very, very good player, Joe. He's going to be a very good player. He's probably the 3rd best player on the team right now.
Yeah, and we also got another incoming super chat here. This one's going to be from the Drew Show.
Money talk.
Here comes the money.
And there you go.
Drew Show says, look at this, guys. Just months ago, Mike was, what if Wemby isn't generational? Now Wemby is proof Castle is generational. Joe, consider a new host.
You know
Okay,
what that
so-
gets? You know what that gets?
No mames otra vez.
So, I mean, it's a weird situation when you look at the Spurs players right now, because I almost wish that I had certain attributes of one player and could give it to another. Like, I wish I had Sohan's drive in Wemby. Right? I think Sohan has more dog in him than Wemby does. I wish Wemby could adopt that in him, right? Maybe he'll get it over time. Wemby's a generational talent defensively. Offensively, that's yet to be determined. Defensively, he is. Offensively, if he wants to hide around the perimeter, he'll be limited in what he can do unless he starts shooting 35, 36% from three, at least. Is Castle a future all-star? I think he has the ability to be a future all-star, but I think he has a future ability to be an all-star the way Sean Elliott was, which was, a two-time all-star? I think Castle might get into the all-star team once or twice, right? But then you look at Dylan Harper. Dylan Harper was made for the all-star game. Dylan Harper is probably going to be, by year 3, the second best player on this team.
They're coming at you today in the chat, Mike. We got an incoming super chat from Matt Lerma. Thank you, Matt, for the support.
Money talks.
Here comes the money.
He says, last successful number 2 pick is KD. He goes, second pick is cursed.
I would say that one has nothing to do with the other. This is kind of like going to Vegas and hearing that the last 6 times the roulette wheel has gone, it's been black, so therefore black is hot. Have you heard that phrase, Joe, before? Oh man, black is hot right now. Red is hot right now, right? None of that exists. Every single spin is different than the other. One has nothing to do with the other. It doesn't. So I don't see the thing there. Give me 1 second here. My work's texting me. I don't see the thing going on right now when it comes to the number 2 pick. You can go back in time. I mean, John Morant was number 2 pick. So you going back to KD? You're saying John Morant's a bad player? John Morant's been the All-Star team several times.
Look at what Steph G put out here. Job better than Zion.
True. Joe, what would you do if you were the Spurs right now when it came to De'Aaron Fox? He's expecting some sort of contract, right? He's expecting some sort of extension. Do you give him what you promised him? Because I'm assuming the Spurs promised him that, right? I assume that was part of the whole thing was, you come to us, we're going to get you a new deal. We're going to get you a 4-year deal. John Hollinger of The Athletic is saying, look, man, the dude's only worth 45. Why are you paying him 55? Why are you paying him 55 when you have Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle in the backcourt right now? Both of them capable of playing point guard. Stephon Castle, going into college, was a traditional point guard player. He became a combo player when he went to UConn, and they forced him into that position, out of position. Dylan Harper has the handles. Do you overpay a point guard because you brought him in over a certain time frame when you've got this in the background now, when you got this in the stable?
I think the correct answer to that would be, how does said player fit with the direction, the timeline that you're going in? You know, how impactful is this player to the team as far as the team chemistry, and also doing some of the other things that, you know, again, people might not see all the time, because most of the time they're going to want to see the flashy plays that stand out, you know, the dunks, the amazing shots, you know, a buzzer beater to win a game. You know, they're like, man, this kid is clutch. But beyond that, there's other intangibles that happen out on the court that can also make a player impactful on the game, whether he's knocking down points or not.
Mhm.
And I think at the end of the day, that has a dollar value. We don't know quite yet what Castle's going to do in his second year. He looked great in his first year. I'm sure he's been working on things in the offseason. I'd like to see what the kid does. How does he look in his second year? I really
Man,
don't know.
I will give this for Castle. Castle was NBA ready day one, and when I say NBA ready day one, you have certain players who are NBA ready day one by body. Asa Newell, who I love from Georgia, NBA ready body, playing for the Atlanta Hawks now. We don't know if he's going to have that between the ears yet.
No.
Physically, he is, right? Stephon Castle came to the Spurs 6'6", 6'6.5", NBA ready physically. Mentally, he was NBA ready. That's what made him special. That's what made Castle special, is that he was NBA ready day one between the ears. And I love the fact that the game is slowed down for him. I love the fact that he doesn't play beyond his capability. Does he struggle with a three-point shot? Yes, he does. He struggled with that in college as well. He has a confidence issue when it comes to that. But for the most part, he played within himself, and he does that slow down move going to the basket, right? Gets the defender up in the air. Stephon Castle is a special player because IQ-wise, he's strong, because he doesn't force the issue. He's not sloppy, and he knows where to get where to be. He plays winning basketball. Stephon Castle knows that sometimes he has to be the scorer, sometimes he has to be the facilitator, sometimes he has to be the defender, and he knows that he's out there Swiss Army knife style.
And check
Dylan Harper, though, offensively, is a much better player than Stephon Castle, and Castle's not a bad offensive player, but Dylan Harper can get to his spots. Dylan Harper is left-handed. Dylan Harper is a different type of player. Thunder and lightning between those two guys.
We got another incoming super
Money
chat.
talk.
Here comes the money.
Some of the fans aren't agreeing with your takes today, Mike, and Drew Show is one of them, and he's being very vocal with the super chats coming in. Thank you,
man,
Drew.
the more money
Appreciate it.
coming in, dude, we be as vocal as you want.
He's saying, he goes at Tony. He says he's going at Tony Ornelas, kind of a rebuttal. He says, "Who is the new host? Nominate." He says, Elias. He goes, Matt Lerma and Area 210 Joe for the new and improved pod with 100% less Jimenez.
Hey, man. Not all the takes are great, but I do bat 800 when it comes to the Spurs.
You know what? It's like this, right? A Rotten Tomato's not worth anything, right? Worth zero, that has zero value. But if you put somebody on stage that people absolutely hate, that Rotten Tomato is now worth what? $3 each. Here's a Rotten Tomato, throw it at the host, And that's what the equivalent of the Rotten Tomato is, the super chat. They don't like what you're saying. They're paying to go ahead and voice their discontent with Mike. The Rotten Tomato.
Who was the one? Was it Swiss yesterday who put me in a Rockets jersey with the arm sticking out?
Jeez, I can't even keep up. It's Swiss.
That was a good
Elias.
one, dude.
I mean, I don't know.
That was good, Joe.
I think that was Swiss. I don't know if it was Elias. Correct me if I'm wrong, Elias, but it was either you or Swiss that did that. That was funny, dude.
That was a good one, too. That was a good one. Chica got her tank top with the Marbach.
Oh, my God.
She showed it to her son yesterday, and she goes, "What is that?" He was like, "What is that?" He was mortified.
What the heck is that?
Yeah.
I can't wait. You need to get one, too. Not a tank top, because I know you're going to wear a shirt without the sleeves, but get a shirt and wear that out in public together. I'd be like, oh, my God, dude. That'd be hilarious. Can you imagine the looks you would get?
Dude, I'm gonna put it on my page right now, Joe. The one of the Rockets jersey, which hurts my feelings, man. Because fuck the Rockets, dude. I'm sorry. That's my one cuss of the day.
You're dollar. You're already over in Conroe, man. You're already in the proximity, the Metroplex of Houston?
We're about 45 miles. All right, I just put it on my Twitter account, Joe. So if you want to show it real fast.
God, dude. Let me go ahead and go back here and let's look for it.
No, it's on the top. I just retweeted it. This was a great Photoshop.
Oh yeah,
Because
there it is.
I was wearing my Area 210 threads, you know, and instead we get this.
Oh, look at that, bro. And I love it that they put you in that without the sleeves or an undershirt, you know?
Who's the 35? Is that KD?
I think so, man. That's hilarious either way, man. Look at that.
That's funny. Hey, let's talk about our new sponsor, PF Chang's over at La Cantera.
Yeah, because you know what? The chat is powered now by PF Chang's at La Cantera. So they know that Sean was saying that they had some specials coming up here on Wednesday. So let's go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah, man. So thank you to Sean Quintero over at PF Chang's La Cantera. They have what is called Wines Day.
Wines
Okay.
Day. I like the sound of that.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that's tomorrow,
Yeah,
right?
it's
So
Wednesday.
Wines Day is half off bottles of wine and champagne every Wednesday all day. And they have happy hour from 3 to 6 p.m. in the bar or the patio, which has been renovated over there at La Cantera, man. They do a fantastic job over there. Go flag Sean down. Let him know that you're there as part of the podcast. Go flag Sean down. Sean's one of the big wigs over there.
Yeah.
PF Chang's at La Cantera. It's amazing food over there, dude. I love
like
the
it.
lettuce wraps. Give me the lettuce wraps over there. I'm a happy, happy man.
You know, and they're saying that they also you can enjoy the happy hour from 3 to 6 p.m. over in the patio area that we're just talking about. They just renovated. They put some TVs out there. You know, it's a nice area. And I think like I said, we're gonna have to go out there because I need to go ahead and get some videos and pictures and whatnot of the facility itself, the restaurant, so we can showcase that. And they do have good drinks because I know that I've seen some of the TikTok videos from some of these influencers here. Locally here in San Antonio, and they've been kind of showcasing what you can get out there as far as like their $8 drinks that they have out there that are really look really good, really well done. So we got to showcase that too, man. We got to give our take on, hey, the food is good, and look, we're actually here partaking, eating, and showing you guys what you can get out at the PF Chang's at La Cantera.
They have Asian old fashions there, which are very.
Hey.
I don't know if it's called an Asian old fashioned, but it's a variation of the old fashioned, but done
good.
Japanese style. I believe is
Yeah.
what it is. PF Chang's a fantastic place, man.
They do.
Cantera.
They have bottle service too, because remember
They
I
got
was there
valet
for my
service there
birthday.
too.
Yeah, they do.
You don't have to go look for parking to go to PF Chang's. Just valet it.
Yeah, they have the bottle service. So if you're in the Champagne, you're there with your lady, you don't want to have a special night, tell Sean, hey man, bring us a bottle of champagne. They can make it happen.
Very nice. No PF Chang slander in the thread, dude. They do a fantastic job over there. Food is food. Plethora of drinks. Amazing. Again, Area 210 is now powered by PF Chang's at La Cantera. There's no location on 281, but the one we want you to go to is the one at La Cantera, which is close to the Spurs practice facility.
Look
there
at Jason.
at the Rock.
He says they do have a cheap happy hour. That's what I'm saying. Good drinks, you know, cheap.
You know, it's kind of fancy, like, right? Because you're at La Cantera Mall, you know? Take your lady, go up and down, look at all the shops, go, hey, baby, let's go get some Chinese food. She ain't gonna say no to PF Chang's.
Yeah. I thought you were going to put the picture of Chica up wearing the tank top.
That's gonna mortify me, dude, if she wears that to nighttime.
Oh, I know she'll probably do it too, just to embarrass you.
Fantastic, man. Fantastic.
I fully expect her to wear that one time when I go visit you guys and I hang out with you all for the weekend. I'll be like, Chica, you got to.
So Chica and I are going to be going to Miami at the end of the month, Joe. So we're going to need to get a couple of co-hosts. People will get a break from me for a couple of days at the end of the month of my. Her daughter is graduating from one part of her master's program to another part. She gets her white coat for the medical field.
Yeah.
And she's also moving. So I'm going to go over there to help her move from one apartment to the next apartment. She's moving from Miami to Fort Lauderdale. So I have to go help with that move. So I'll be doing that towards the end of the month. We're going to hit up PF Chang's. We're going to do some sort of event there, probably do a show there as well, and do a job over there at PF Chang's, our new sponsor, La Cantera Mall.
Yeah, I would like to try to do something on the 18th since I'm going to be off that day. Whether work approves or not, I'm going to be off. Might be the one
WWE
time
is WWE, baby.
Yeah, might be the time I call in.
dude, dude, I don't know what to say, Joe. I like going on trips. But this one is more of a fatherly duty than anything else, man. Calling it load management, Joe.
God. And look at Elias is saying, can I get a PF Chang's gift card since Mike yelled at me publicly?
When did I yell at him?
He says I'm waiting on the Alamo City shirt too for my my boy.
Oh,
Drew.
yelled at me public. I thought it was yesterday.
No. They just make you
Welcome
funny.
back, Sith. Hey,
But we do got to
Drew-
address some of the other super chats from the Drew show.
yeah, that
So-
Drew made earlier in the show, and I like where he's going.
Let me
with
get
this,
to
so.
him. Because
So basically, the Summer League is going on, and Las Vegas coming up soon enough. The debate on Spurs Twitter right now about whether or not Brian Wright is a good GM or not, there are some people who are just like Matt Lerner with Jeremy Sohan. I'm still with you, Brian Wright.
I'm still with you. Yep. And look at the Drew show is very vocal in pain today for his voice to be heard. So we're going to play this for you.
Money
Show it.
talks.
Here comes the money.
There you go,
Yes.
Mike.
Ingram, he says, Harrison Ingram is trash in the Summer League. Number 14 went 1 for 7 from 3 and fouled like an MFer. No 3, no D, just some guys. Brian Wright can't draft outside number 5. Probably not outside number 4, dude. I mean, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And
look at what
that's the debate, because our good friend Fernandez is defending Brian Wright on social media right now.
yeah. He says if it's not right, it's wrong. That's his phrase.
And everyone says it's revisionist history. It's revisionist history when it comes to it all, right? Yeah, the Spurs could have gotten Jalen Williams, but they got Jeremy Sohan instead. I know they could have gotten Şengün, but they got Primo instead. I know they could have gotten X, Y, and Z, but they got Luka Samanic instead, right? But you know what? It's all in proportion to where they were drafted. You know, because people are like, well, half the teams passed up on Jalen Williams. The forward drafted right before Jalen Williams was Sohan. So if the Spurs were going to go for a forward, they had a choice. Sohan, Williams. They took Sohan. Williams is an all-star. Right? Halliburton versus Vassell. Well, the Spurs at the time, I believe, had DeJounte Murray. And Murray was kind of a fringe all-star at the time, so I can kind of see that. But you look at that and you think to yourself, you could have had Tyrese Halliburton. Instead, we have Devin Vassell, who's still an enigma when it comes to this team.
We hooping.
The one that still gets me, Joe, is Josh Primo.
Oh, man.
Hear me out. Do you believe Josh Primo just suddenly became a cochino when he became a Spur, or do you think he was doing that prior to being in the NBA?
Oh, bro, they knew he was dirty before they even drafted him. You know this. But they said, you know what? Brian Wright says, I'm going to take the gamble. No one's expecting this. I'm going to go ahead and draft this kid. How did that work out?
Joe, we'll never know what happened. Dr. Hillary Coffin was the one who sued the Spurs, and a non-disclosure agreement was signed by all parties. It is very possible that Pop, Brian Wright, the entire front office knew about Primo.
Yeah. You know what? They always say that nothing gets out, right?
Well, after it happened, because again, the allegations were that Primo was being suggestive and dropping his towel and all that to her multiple times, and that she approached the Spurs front office about that. So if the Spurs more than likely knew about it for a long time and let it pass, that's the one thing about the whole thing about Spurs fans thinking that the team is infallible, that they do no wrong. Dude, I mean, they're it's just a sports organization that we cheer for, dude. That's all it is.
Yeah. But I'm saying
and it's not family.
Yeah.
Joe, I mean, they swept it under the rug and all that stuff. And if the Spurs didn't know that he was a cochino beforehand, then they did a bad job investigating him before the draft started.
They knew. And the thing is that people always say the Spurs organization that nothing comes out, right? Nothing sneaks out, nothing pops out from the Spurs organization. Well, then you have Josh Primo. Something did come popping out. and it cost them money. Got egg on their face there. That was a big debacle there, man, because if the kid was as good as they had hoped, and he had an opportunity to showcase that, and he, of course, fumbled the bag, got an opportunity with the Clippers, and they thought he was so good they cut him. Now where is he at?
Right.
Ain't even playing in the league.
My favorite is Spurs players or Spurs fans rather are like, oh man, we saw the promise in Josh Primo. There were some games where he just balled out. No, there weren't. There was not one single game where Josh Primo balled out. His career high was like
Mike.
11.
No, Mike.
I'm gonna look it up right now. What do you think his career high was? Josh Primo career high. What do you think it is? I'm gonna set the over under at 11. Or maybe he popped off for 15 one game.
I think it was like he had more than that, dude. He scored 37 points in 30 minutes.
In the G League.
In the G League, yeah. So there you go. Oh.
Dude, he averaged what, like 5 points per game?
Yeah.
I don't know. According to StatMuse, he had a 20. Josh Primo had the most points against the Raptors. He had 15 points on January 4, 2022. 15 was his highest.
Oh, my God. And then we also got an incoming super chat that we're going to address by the Drew Show here, too. Thank you, Drew.
Yeah.
Money talk.
Here comes the money.
And Drew was saying, he was the undrafted Dominican is the standout. He's talking about
he's right, man.
Garcia. I was telling Jeff, I mean, that's a name I can get by. I could put that on the back of my jersey. That's family. He's a primo.
You know what? If he balls out the way that he is and gets that 2-way deal, I'd be happy for him, dude. Got a Dominican player, played at St. John's, played at DePaul, played Big East basketball, played at Memphis, played 4 years, has a history of knocking down threes, has some size. We could do worse than that, Joe. Because who have we had on 2-way deals the past couple of years, man? Bunch of scrubs. At least this guy has some experience. He was the G League first team, All NBA G League first team last year.
Yeah.
Get him on the roster, dude. Get him somehow on the roster. JNSB will asking the question, will Carter Bryant be playing in Austin? I believe so. He has to. He's not NBA ready yet. Ren G says he thinks Primo's in Summer League with Chicago.
Jeez.
Think about how he ruined his career, man, by being a cochino.
Look, Antonio Nellis. Mike did say Primo has potential.
I never
Go
said
get the
that.
tape,
I
Joe.
was never a Primo guy, dude.
He says, "Give
No
me a
way.
free chancla."
I was never a Primo guy.
Oh.
I was a Şengün guy from the beginning, Joe. The entire time. People think that I gave a lot of crap towards Sohan back in the day. Dude, the one I was the hardest on, was Primo. Militia guy says Brian needs to be on the second unit. Why? Why doesn't he be on the second unit? What? He was barely on the second unit of Arizona. Why does he? Dude, Bryant isn't an NBA player yet. He's going to be married in Austin for quite a while, Joe. Quite a while. It's a 15-man roster, but only 12 suit up, dude. He's going to be in Austin a lot. Second unit, my ass.
You know,
At the end of the day, guy averaged 6 points per game in 19 minutes in college. But he could lock down the 1, 2, and 3. Okay, whatever.
And look at this. They were
he can lock down the 1, 2, and 3 from Santa Clara. Yeah, go try to lock down Luka Doncic. That can happen.
They sent us something through the media share, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and show this. This is on via Insta. Hold on. Let me stop sharing that and share the other one. Hold on.
Yeah.
Here we go. That's the one I meant to share. Instagram. And this is the video that they were saying NBA teams when they trade with the Bulls and Kings, like the Spurs did.
Kevin, let me lock in that trade right now and get back to you in a few minutes with an exact confirmation, Kevin. And welcome to Stratton Oakmont.
Thanks, man. I'm going to have a beer, right? It's fun.
Take it easy, Kevin.
That was the Spurs when they were trading with the the Sacramento Kings, and they fleeced them
Oh,
for
dude.
Fox.
It's very rare that we're on that end of being of the fleecing, right? Usually we're the ones
Yeah.
being fleeced. JHNSB says Carter Bryant won't play with Wemby until 2028. That's the timeline, Joe. That's the timeline.
Yeah. But we have some good things to look forward to, I think, in summer league. I mean, I don't know if this kid Garcia is ever going to make the squad. I hope he does. I mean, the kid's been balling out.
Maybe he's a Jonathan Simmons kind of guy, dude. Remember the Jonathan Simmons era?
I remember that
Dude, that was amazing, dude.
guy had some spectacular dunks, man. He could play. He could play. Unfortunately, he just, again, it was one of those players where they go ahead and they work on him and they develop him and whatnot, and then they let him go somewhere else, and he didn't have the career that he did with San Antonio.
Looking at Orlando Magic star Paulo Banchero getting a 5-year, $239 million maximum rookie contract extension.
Damn.
That could reach 287. That's $57 million a year, Joe.
That's a lot.
Dude, Wemby's gonna be making 70. Give me one quick second, Joe.
Yeah. So if you guys want to go ahead and media share with us, and you want to go ahead and share a link, photos, videos, anywhere from social media, go ahead and send that over to, text us over at 830-391-9164 to go ahead and media share with us, and we'll go ahead and show that in the context of the show here. So again, if you want to media share with us, text us. The number is 830-391-9164.
Tony Nall say, wait for my boy Rasheer Fleming to get some action. He's NBA ready. He says, should replace Tony. Tony Nall says that he should replace Brian Wright. Rasheer Fleming, second-round draft pick, got traded to the Phoenix Suns as part of the Kevin Durant trade. Joe, Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5 just reached out to me right now. Let's go to a pop culture reference.
Oh, God. What is he saying?
Well, he put a GIF out on Twitter this morning of the movie Troy.
Okay.
I responded back that Troy is one of my favorite movies of all time.
It's all right.
Is it all right? Because
right.
I think that Troy should have been that movie that would have made Brad Pitt an even bigger superstar. I don't think the movie gets as much love as it should. I think it's top quality. I think it's a top-notch movie, Joe. It's a popcorn flick. It's an action flick. It's a good movie. It's a good script. It's good acting. Why is it not considered to be an all-time great movie?
Because it's just all right. It's not like, wow, Troy is on. Stop everything, man. This is a great film. I got to sit down and I got to watch it. That's only you. It's only special to you. But in the contrast of looking at Troy as a whole as a movie, it's all right. I saw it once. All right, I'm done.
Yeah. Oh, just once?
I'm done. Yeah, I saw it once. It was all right.
So Mexican Junior says it's okay, but the fight between Pitt and Eric Bana was great. That was a good fight, dude. That was the whole fight
Brad
to the
Pitt.
death.
Brad Pitt gets Mike throbbing.
Sam saying Troy sucked out. So in what realm, dude? That's a great movie.
Man, you like bad films, Mike.
I wish I had seen it at the movie theaters. It was great. There's some great lines in there. So basically, the movie is about the Trojan War. Pause.
Jeez.
The Trojan horse and all that stuff, and the battle between, was it Sparta and the Greeks and whatnot. It's fantastic, dude. A great movie. You have Helen of Troy. You have Paris. You have her being abducted. Actually, not abducted. She had an affair with Paris and is being brought back to another land, and that starts a war when there should have been peace. All of that stuff, and you have Brad Pitt as Achilles, right, the greatest warrior of all time, and he could beat anybody on a one-on-one battle, right? It's a very, very, very good movie, in my opinion. Now, speaking of movies that I don't think get as much love as they should, last night I was on Netflix, and they have that banner that says "Leaving Soon." The movies that are a week away from being pulled off.
Yeah.
I had to watch The Town one more time, Joe.
That's a good film.
With Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Chica was not interested in it, right? Chica had no interest in it. The scene where the sex scene with what's her face, the Blake Lively, whatever.
Yeah.
She was like, fast forward through that. I was like, all right, fast forward through that.
She's not interested.
Yeah, but she was like, I don't want to see Blake Lively be cochina. And it's so funny because there were certain parts of the movie where she was not trying to get interested in it, but she kept like looking over and watching a scene, and she goes, "Aw." So like there was that one scene where he's talking about how his mom had left him, and that he was going all around town putting up the flyers, like when he had lost his dog, but he was looking for his mom. And she got into that scene, Joe. I think she got upset that she got into that scene. But The Town's a great movie.
It's all right. That's not bad at all. That one's a good watch. I'll watch that one.
All right, so Jason Saldivar is talking about Troy versus Gladiator.
Oh man, there ain't no comparison, bro. No comparison.
I don't think that there's an apples. I don't think it's an apples and apples to it. I think it's an apples and oranges type of movie. Gladiator is incredible as well.
Gladiator is a much better caliber of movie than Troy. Troy is actually low key. It sucks, man. The storylines and the acting are all right.
Well, Troy had the problem with Troy is that it has to fall in line with the legends, right? Where Gladiator, they can just talk about anything. Gladiator is a completely made up movie, and Troy is too. But Troy is based on the Iliad, right? If I'm not mistaken, Homer's Iliad.
Yeah. The Odyssey is coming out, actually.
The Odyssey. There you go. So one of the two, but one of the Homer books from back in the day. So it has to stay true to that. Whereas Gladiator, they could have taken any liberty that they wanted to about it all. Dude, Gladiator 2 sucked.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch that. I'll just stick with the original.
It is the first movie I've ever seen of Denzel Washington that I thought sucked.
Yeah, you know what movie I actually am looking forward to? I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a trailer out there, and it's because I've listened to this book, an audio book, believe it or not. I listen to these things once in a while. So there is this one that I've been listening to. It takes like 16 hours for you to get through it. And it was called Project Hail Mary. And now they're going to make a film about it, and it's going to come out on March the 20th of next year. And Ryan Gosling's going to star in it, but it's a very good premise, as far as the book goes. Trailer just came out not too long ago. Check it out. It's interesting, man.
Drew Show comes out and says, do you know where that's on? Where that's streaming, by the way, Joe?
What? Troy?
No. The movies that you were referring to.
Oh, Project Hail Mary. It's not it's a movie that's going to be coming out in theaters May 20th of 2026.
Okay.
But you can go ahead and get the audiobook now if you just go and check it out anywhere. I hear that they have an audio version of it that's up on YouTube, and that one's free. So you just got to look for it.
When was the last time you read a book? Has it
read
been a while?
Often, no. I read quite a bit, but it's not always just like I'm reading a book to read a book. I'm reading a book because, believe it or not, I have to go ahead and further my education when it comes to the job
a book
field
for
that I'm
fun.
in.
A book for fun.
Yeah, that doesn't happen too often. But I listen to audiobooks. So the last one that I listened to, or I'm currently listening to, I'm almost done with it. Project Hail Mary. I'm almost done with that one. That one's
as an audiobook.
As an audiobook, because I'm listening to it as I'm reading another book, because I have to go ahead and get my other certifications. Certifications are big in IT, man. Like I got to get at least 3 or 4 more certifications. And then when I'm done with those certifications and I'm staying at the job that I'm in, that knowledge translates into 6 figures plus,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's why I'm reading these books.
Yeah, I'm enrolling into the American College of Financial Planning to get my RICP designation, which is a retirement income designation.
Yeah.
So I'll be doing that. But the book I'm reading for fun right now, which I don't read for fun very often, I'm reading the Shawshank Redemption. So I'm reading the actual book, the novella from Stephen King that it was based on, and it's completely different than the movie, which has made it more fun. But it's also made the movie a little bit different because you now know the backstory of every single character in there.
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe I shouldn't like Red so much. Maybe I shouldn't like Andy so much.
Jeez.
Because it goes deep into their storyline that the movie just basically glossed over. So that one's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But but furthering education is big, dude. And I was talking to my daughter Ava about this yesterday. You know, this is me being a parent yesterday. I was telling her that kids need discipline, kids need to have routine, kids need to have friends, they need to have motivation, they need to have all of those different things. And I told her yesterday, I said, when I ask you to clean your room, I'm not doing it to be a jerk. I'm doing it because I want you to have pride in what you've got. And it's funny because I told my daughter this yesterday. I said, think of the most successful people that you know. And she goes, okay. And I said, okay, how do they dress? How do they work? What do they do? How do they work out? How do they do whatever? And I was saying that there's a rhythm by which they go to. They wake up at the same time. They go to sleep at the same time. They work out at the same time. They do this and the other. I have stuff that I have to work on myself. But usually the people who are the most successful have their crap together, right? And I was telling her about that yesterday, and I hope I got through a little bit because my kid's going into the 8th grade, and that's a awful time. 8th grade sucks, dude. Those girls suck in 8th grade.
Yeah. They're shitheads at that age,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are. And I was talking to a therapist yesterday, not for myself, but we have a child therapist, and I'm kind of trying to wean her off of that. And I was basically saying, therapy is a good thing for a while, but it shouldn't be there forever. You
Yeah.
know, what's the exit strategy and all that stuff? And it's funny because I told the therapist yesterday, I said, you come up with all of these different like new age ways of doing things. And really what kids need sometimes is a swift kick in the ass.
Yeah.
You know, like Joe, were you ever spanked as a kid?
Oh yeah, dude, all the time.
I mean, I wasn't like all the time, but I got my beat downs from time to time.
Yeah,
But
I wasn't a bad kid, but I would get in trouble a lot because I was so smart or intelligent for being a little kid that like my dad, he owned a body shop, right? So they had a lot of scrap all over the place, from old cars or whatnot. So I was always good with science and engineering. So to me, that was a playground. I would
yeah,
go out there with my wagon or whatever, and I would fill it with batteries or magnets and aluminum and all these scraps. I had access to a welder, and they taught me how to weld. So I was putting stuff together. And usually what I would get yelled at is because I was doing some type of an experiment in my room in the house and I was putting holes in the wall because
yeah,
I tried to make a rail gun one time when I was a kid. And I sent this piece of aluminum through the freaking wall, through 2 walls,
nice.
and they got mad at me because I had it hooked up to some car batteries. I remember another time I had a physics kit or something like that, and I was cooking some type of chemical that I was making an experiment with, and I almost burnt the house. Then they gave me a golf cart, or not a golf cart, a go-kart one time. And I remember my dad brought it in, didn't have wheels or nothing. He says, it doesn't work. Maybe you can, tinker with it and see what can happen. He says, here are the wheels or whatnot. And they left it there with me. It was summertime. I remember waking up early, like early in the morning, like 3 or 4 in the morning, because I was excited as a kid. Man, this is freedom right here. I just got to get her working. So I was out there in the little garage area that we had in the house, and I had that thing on bricks, and I fixed the engine. I put the wheels back on. And by the time that my parents woke up around 8 o'clock in the morning, man, I was tearing through the neighborhood in that damn thing. They took that sucker away from me too.
Well, I mean, what you're showing us there, Joe, is you had discipline, you had motivation to get something done, and that's what I think is lacking with some of the kids out there right now is a lack of motivation, a lack of structure, and things like that. It's a different world because, man, I used to like sometimes come home from school on a Friday and not get back home till Sunday. Wasn't doing anything wrong. I wasn't breaking the law or anything, but I was
Yeah.
out at the parks playing ball, playing pickup ball for 8 or 9 hours, then going to a friend's house and showering, then going to Jack in the Box, and then going to the movies, and then going to a club, and then come back home and do some, play video games and whatever. And it was like this weekend long thing of hanging out with friends. And, you know, the dangers weren't necessarily there. And maybe the dangers of today are just made up, but the dangers weren't there.
No.
I wasn't afraid of being kidnapped. I wasn't afraid of anything like that, you know. I was, it's a different thing, and I'm just like, we need to get kids just to be a little bit more structured in things, man. And
Yeah.
sometimes, talking to this counselor, and they're like, oh, well, they need to do this. And have you ever, dude? Yeah, I lost my temper yesterday. She was like, have you ever heard of the concept of whatever, whatever? And I was like, have you ever heard of they're gonna get their ass kicked? You don't do stupid things, man. Like in theory. I was like, this new age shit is stupid, man.
Oh God, dude. But you know what? I was going to tell you, I wanted to get back on track here and talk a little bit about San Antonio Spurs basketball specifically. I wanted to talk about Cornette.
Jesse A's comment. Mike was in the gym working on his post game like Wimby should be. Dude, I was skinny back in the day, dude. I was more of a point guard than anything else. But go on, Joe. I'm sorry.
We're going to talk about Cornette, and we're going to talk about this as well. I saw that Don Harris was reporting this from News 4. He says Wemby is back from Japan. He's in San Antonio today. He said he saw him working out. He's going to visit the Spurs rookie at the Las Vegas Summer League later in the week. So Wemby's back in SA. He's coming back from his trek over there in Japan, China, and wherever else he was at. So it looks like he's back in the gym now, trying to get serious here. And you also have a lot of Spurs talk surrounding Cornette. Cornette's back, and he was showing that he was in I believe, the Spurs practice facility. There's a video circulating here that I just saw from the Spurs. They went ahead and posted that on the X, and I'll show that to you guys. And it was just Cornette kind of like walking around the practice facility, doing his thing, and there he is.
Okay, so he's the backup center for the Spurs.
Fans, it's Luke Cornette. I'm here first day at the practice facility. Excited to be here in San Antonio. Look forward to getting on the court and playing with everybody and seeing you all at the arena. Excited to be here. Go Spurs.
And there you go.
A lot of Boston Celtics fans were sad to see him go. I questioned the original reporting of the contract beforehand, whether this was a good pickup for the Spurs or not. The Spurs signed Luke Cornette to a 4-year deal. I believe it was estimated being at $41 million. And Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5 is breaking down the contract at Jeff G Spurs Zone on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's not a bad contract.
With Jeff
Year
Cornette?
one for Jeff Cornette. Year one, $11 million. Okay. Year two, 10.45. Year three, 9.9. Year four, 9.35. But what makes this different, though, is that year four is a team option. So the Spurs could dump him after year three. And year three is only partially guaranteed. So really, the Spurs signed him to a 2-year deal. But if he does well, the Spurs can keep him for 4. So they signed him to a 2-year deal with a partially guaranteed year 3 and a team option on 4. That I'm fine with. Let's see if he works well with the next couple of days.
Yeah.
Sam Salinas with a $2 super chat coming on in.
Here we go.
Money talk.
Here comes the money.
This holy crap, we got conservative Mike today. Dude, my conservative friends think I'm a liberal. My liberal friends think I'm a conservative, dude. I just think I'm common sense, Joe.
And Drew was saying is that that Cornette's press conference was all of 7 minutes long.
The Spurs are state-sponsored media. I like that.
Jeez,
I've
man.
said that before.
It's very controlled. That's all I can say. It's very controlled, This is all you get to say, stick to the notes.
Yeah.
Don't go off script.
I was looking at the odds for WNBA MVP. Caitlin Clark has missed 50% of her games, 9 out of 18 games. She's ranked as the third best chance of winning the MVP award. Who is gambling on her right now when she has missed 50% of the games? Would you say, Joe, that she has a 0% chance of winning the MVP because of all that missed time?
I don't know, man. Is she the best player in the game? Absolutely not.
Is she close to being the best player in the NBA,
No,
WNBA?
no.
Dude, at some point there's going to be a pushback, dude. At
She's
some point there's going to be a pushback.
she is just popular. Popularity doesn't always equate to you getting the MVP.
Hmm.
You know, it's more than just that. If it's a popularity vote, she would win that contest, no doubt.
Jason Saldivar saying that he likes the Cornette deal. That turned out to be better than expected. I was fearful that it was like mostly guaranteed, but it's like basically just barely half of it's guaranteed, and it's declining every year that goes down. Remember, the NBA, it requires the teams to spend 90% of the salary cap. They don't get to roll it over to the next year. They have to spend 90%, so they had to pay somebody. And just like they did with Keldon Johnson's deal, they started it up top and then made it less and less as time went on. We have a declining salary for Keldon Johnson as well. Champagne still on the team, Joe? You excited for that?
Cardio, yeah. You gotta have a body. You know, I mean, there you go. He's just a
I'm
body
just
at this point, man. They're gonna throw out
I'm
there.
I'm just waiting for Dylan Harper to take the field, dude. Waiting for Dylan Harper to take the field. Waiting for the Cowboys in Texas to take the field. I just cannot wait, Joe. There's going to be a time in October that comes around where we have college football, college basketball, NBA, NFL, high school football, all going at the same time. Right now, we're kind of just rocking back and forth, just getting ready, Joe. Getting ready. Hey, PF Chang's is our new sponsor over at Lock and Terra Mall. Go visit Sean Quintero out there. They do Wines Day on Wednesday. All day long, you have half off bottles of wine, bottles of champagne, and then they do their happy hour from 3 to 6. Go get the Japanese old fashioned. Dude, we'll do it, dude. We'll do it. We'll talk to Sean over there. We'll get going for a remote over there. Was over at Guitar Center the other day, Joe, looking at some podcasting equipment. I'm thinking about getting a mic.
Yeah, well, like I told you, Mike, you don't have to get a mic. I have this stuff here, bro. If you need something, you just got to stop by, and I can give you anything you possibly need to go ahead and connect it to your laptop, and you're gonna sound pro.
I'm looking forward to doing some shows at the studio again. The reason why I haven't been over there is because I have my daughter for the summer.
No, I
don't want to
understand that.
I don't want to have her to go back and forth. So
She doesn't like what we do anyway. She thinks it's boring. She'd rather talk about anime or something else, you know?
Oh, I know. She's really into K-pop.
Yeah.
That's a big deal these days, man.
Oh, I know, man. All my nieces watch that kind of stuff, and they try to talk to me about it. I'm like, I don't understand what you're telling me, man. That's the thing, is like I got tons of nieces, man. Like, if I want to know what's the pulse of stuff that's, you know, happening, or when it comes to fashion or things that are popular, they'll tell you. You know,
Yeah.
they'll tell me right away. I'm just like, I don't know what it is. What are you talking to me about?
Hey, we have a new name, Joe. Eric Barcenas.
Barcenas?
That's a name I hadn't seen before, or maybe I just hadn't paid attention. If Vassell and Keldon Johnson are on this team during training camp, then the Spurs aren't serious about winning. All they care about is winning a better draft position. Someone earlier in the chat was saying, "Oh, the Spurs soft tanking."
Never
The
know.
soft tank in effect.
The soft tank again. You know, it always happens. But you know, we got to give you some love too, Mike. We got to go ahead and flash your phone number here.
And we'll have to jet from here because I had to get back to my business. 210-508-0369. 210-508-0369. If you see me in a polo while doing this podcast, you know I have client meetings thereafter. I do finance, so investments, insurances, whether it be life insurance, IRAs, 401k rollovers, annuities, things like that. Reach out to me, 210-508-0369. Been doing this business for 20 years. Restarted my practice 5 years ago, man. 5 years ago.
No. How about that? And we got an incoming super chat from the Drew Show here to end the show. So let's go ahead and showcase that.
Money talk.
Here comes the money.
And there you go. He says, put a poll up in chat. Who cares about the WNBA? Mike, hear me. Nobody cares. He says, Caitlin is a Caitlin with Dub is Angel. He goes, we have no team.
Who cares about the WNBA? Dude, WNBA was getting better TV ratings than the NBA was from time to time. I mean, it is what it is. It's kind of like soccer, Joe. Some
Yeah.
people like it, some people don't. WNBA is slowly but surely climbing the charts as to relevancy, right?
Yeah.
There was a time when NASCAR was kind of big back in the day when Dale Earnhardt Jr. was doing well and Senior was still alive and whatnot. And it was, NASCAR was like the next big thing, and then
Yeah.
it faded. Tennis was big for a while there when you had Agassi and Sampras and then Nadal and all that, and then it kind of faded away. Uh, the next sports that are climbing up right now the ladder are probably men's soccer and probably WNBA. That's the trend these days. Football will always be king, though, man. NFL football will always be king.
And look at this. We got a chat here from Sam Salinas. He goes, Joe, my daughter and I have been talking about doing a podcast. He goes, we have the show idea, concept, and name. He says, may need some advice if you're willing. Of course, I'm always willing to lend some advice. So good luck to you guys. If you need me, you know where to reach me, man.
Mm-hmm. Drew Show's so upset that we don't have a team in San Antonio because the Silver Stars are now in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
They took Becky Hammond with them.
See, the thing is that if everybody would have went to go and see the team play a little bit more often, maybe they would have stayed here. But unfortunately, that was not the case.
Joe, I'm watching Wimbledon quarterfinals right now. You have Carlos Alcaraz right now from Spain, the number 2 ranked player. Arguably the most popular player in tennis right now. One question I have for you as we end the show, Joe, because I know you're not the biggest tennis fan in the world.
Yeah.
Do you like the changing of the guard going on right now? Because Federer retired, Nadal basically has retired, and you still have Djokovic out there. Djokovic becoming one of the few players in tennis history to have more than 100 victories at Wimbledon. He's a few wins away from having the all-time most wins ever at that tournament. Would you rather see Alcaraz win a tournament this weekend, win Wimbledon this weekend, and basically begin that march of greatness? Because he's already won a few majors. Or would you rather see Djokovic add to his all-time title list? I think would be number 25 if he gets it. Which are you more excited about, the young gun or the old guy?
No, the young guns, dude. I mean, the old timers had their time to shine. They're kind of like their career is already in the sunsetting now. It's like the future is now, old man. You know? So it's time for the youngins to come into their own.
It used to be that Djokovic would go in there and was the most talented player by far in the tournament.
Yeah.
You watch him play Alcaraz. Alcaraz has more game right now. And it's not because Alcaraz is better than Djokovic. It's because Djokovic is like, you're 35 years old, 36 years old. He's up there in age. He's playing against somebody who's in his early 20s. It's going to be fun to watch this weekend. I want to see them go at it. Alcaraz, though, is just dominating right now. Up 5-1 in the first set. It's going to roll on to the semis. Looking forward to it, dude.
Yeah.
Very nice, Joe. We'll be back tomorrow talking more sports, Spurs, pop culture, all that stuff. Thank you to PF Chang's for powering the super chat. Again, go visit Sean. You don't have to wait till Wednesday. Go today. Today. PF Chang's at La Cantera. Very nice, Joe. We'll be back tomorrow. Thank you to all the super chats that came in. Drew Show with the leaderboard as well. And again, if you want to donate to the Kerr County floods and all that stuff, I posted on Twitter where I donated money to. Thank you to Michael Dell for donating $1 million to the cause as well, one of the Spurs owners, and to the Spurs, Mavericks, Rockets, NBA, and NBA Players Association for combining to be more than $2.5 million. Good job. Let's see if we can do some more.
Yes,
Joe,
sir.
we'll be back tomorrow. Got to get back to work.
Yep. See you boys tomorrow. We're out. Peace.
See ya.